Raiders fans, attention! The most anticipated move of the summer may finally be about to happen. While the NFL free agent market seems to cool down for most franchises, the Las Vegas Raiders are about to accelerate, and strongly, with more than $36 million available in salary cap space, and a coach who is not afraid of bold moves. Hot rumors indicate that a star with an all-pro history may be on his way to Vegas. And this is just the beginning. If you thought the Raiders' off-season was already over, get ready for a script change that could completely change the fate of the 2025 season. The Las Vegas Raiders' secondary became one of the main focuses of the off-season after the departure of safeties Trayvon Murrig and Marcus Epps, the arrival of Jeremy Chin, and the possible promotion of Isaiah Palau to the starting position seem to provide an immediate answer, but the reality is worrying. Chin, despite his versatility, never lived up to the expectations that surrounded him since he was drafted in the second round. Palau, on the other hand, has potential, but he is still a raw name lacking the necessary field time to be considered a reliable piece in the heart of the defense. That is why all eyes are on an experienced and, who knows, decisive solution. Cody Benjamin from CBS Sports raised a hypothesis that is gaining traction: the signing of Justin Simmons, the veteran, formerly of the Denver Broncos and Atlanta Falcons, is a four-time All-Pro and still carries the status of one of the best safeties of the last decade. More than talent, Simmons has a history with Joe Woods, the current Raiders passing game coordinator, who was his first defensive backs coach in Denver. This connection could be the key to opening the doors to Las Vegas. Even coming off just one regular season in Atlanta, Simmons offers exactly what Vegas needs: experience, game intelligence, and above all, versatility. He plays efficiently as both a free safety and a strong safety, and can also cover the slot, one of the weakest areas of the current Raiders' defense. Furthermore, his reading of the game continues to be one of his greatest weapons, allowing him to anticipate routes and make decisive plays at crucial moments. Another factor that favors the fit is the franchise's financial situation. With plenty of room in the salary cap, the Raiders can offer a short one-year contract with no long-term risks. The cost-benefit is clear: a veteran who is still productive, capable of leading young talent and raising the level of the defense. Bringing in Simmons would not be just another signing. It would be a sign that Pete Carroll is committed to making the Raiders' defense a strong pillar in 2025, a gamble with immediate returns both on the field and in the locker room. But now the decision is in the hands of the board. Will they have the courage to pull the trigger on this move? Because if it depends on Pete Carroll, the next move is already in the works, and it could involve even more impactful names. The market is just starting to heat up. Forders.
Thing is that the mentality has changed, Pete. Carroll arrived willing to put together a competitive team right away. He doesn't want to promise for the future. He wants to win now, with a roster that mixes youth and experience, and a coaching staff that knows how to get the best out of players. The 2025 season could be the beginning of a successful rebuild in Vegas. But the next move could be even more provocative. What if an old AFC West rival returned, only now in silver and black? The next name to be touted could set fans on fire and reignite a historic rivalry. If there's one thing that can excite a fan base like the Raiders, it's the possibility of beating an old rival with the help of a former player. And that could be exactly the scenario that's unfolding with Justin Simmons, the veteran safety who shone for years in a Denver Broncos uniform and is now on the free market. The possibility of seeing him wearing silver and black and returning to the AFC West as an opponent for the Broncos could be more real than ever. Simmons' name has been heavily discussed within the NFL in recent days, and not only because of his resume, a four-time All-Pro and considered one of the most intelligent and versatile safeties in the league, but because of the perfect combination of need and opportunity that presents itself to the Raiders. With cap space, a shortage at the position, and a direct connection to coordinator Joe Woods, his former coach in Denver, the fit seems natural. And what's more,
The taste of revenge also weighs heavily. Simmons is no longer the same physically dominant player he was years ago, but he makes up for it with his reading of the game, impeccable positioning and leadership on the field. And if there's one thing this defense needs, it's a reliable reference point at the back of the field, especially playing in a division where the aerial attack is a constant nightmare with names like Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert throwing bombs every week. In addition to the technical impact, Simmons's presence would be a symbolic shock. A former Denver defensive pillar, now helping to build a new chapter for the Raiders, that would send a clear message to the rest of the AFC West. Vegas is leaving behind the mistakes of the past and is ready to compete with the big boys. Pete Carroll's arrival was already the first step in this repositioning, and adding a name like Simmons would show that the franchise is ready to fight for something bigger. Cody Benjamin from CBS Sports reinforces this scenario, pointing out that the Raiders not only have a need, but also have the ideal conditions to make this move. And with the off-season still far from over, Simmons could very well be the next to land in Vegas. The 2025 season will be the first big test of the new regime, and if the Raiders really want to make a strong start in this competition, the time to act is now. With Pete Carroll taking an aggressive stance in the trade market, the Raiders' defense undergoing an overhaul, and names like Justin Simmons and Shakshik